Now that we've got a roadway high and low points set where we want them, and we know that we want our inlets on property lines, let's go ahead and lay out our storm. Now, when you're laying out storm, you have to think about what your other utilities are going to do. So I have storm pipes, I have water mains, and I have sanitary sewer. Sanitary sewer normally runs the center line of the road in most jurisdictions. Sometimes your your sanitary sewer runs in one of the drive lanes, and that's fine too. And when storm is on one side, normally water is on the other side of the road. Now, when you think about laying out storm, I'm just going to draw a polyline, something. So I'm going to go PL. And we know that our low point is going to be, I'm just going to arbitrarily pick a point, and I'm going to make it a width of 2, just so you can see it, okay? This is just for talking purposes. So just hold up for right now. Don't draw anything. You don't have to follow me right now. I'm explaining something. So if I put a inlet on this side of the street, then I'm going to have to put a manhole or some type of storm inlet, maybe here and here, just to get it around the curve. And then I'm going to put another inlet somewhere. We said our low point was basically going to be right about here, okay? Now, we're going to put a pond down here. So I'm going to go ahead and have to put another structure in. So I'm going to put a structure here, and then I'm going to put a pipe out that direction. We haven't drawn in our pond yet, but we will. So let's stop and talk about this. If I put the storm on this side, the water line will go on this side. Now, would it be better, and I'm going to just change the color. Again, I'm just talking. So let's put in magenta. So I'm going to draw a polyline. So we know we have a low point here. Would it be better to put the storm on this side? I still have to put a second structure in, okay, to get this to turn and put inlets in. So I'm going to put an inlet on the here. And then I'm going to have another inlet over here, okay? And then I'm going to bring this down like this. Now, these inlets are right across from each other. This inlet, if I used it this direction, I would have a straight line like this, and then I would bring in a pipe. I'm going to make that yellow. I would have to bring in a pipe across the street. Now, I can do this where it crisscrosses. It's not a bad idea. You're using the same amount of inlets. You're using basically the same amount of pipe. Technically, this is going to be shorter. The magenta is going to be shorter. Manholes are still the same number of manholes, etc. I am actually going to use the magenta, okay? So I'm going to use the magenta. Usually, I don't like flip-flopping across the street because I would normally put the water main on this side. Okay, I would have put it on the, if I use the magenta, then I would put the water main on the yellow side of the lines, okay? When I say yellow, I mean this line here. All right, so with that being said, I don't like the idea of getting the water and the storm close to each other because the rule is you have to stay 10 feet away. So that dictates to me that if I don't do it this way, I take that back. If I don't do it this way, then I actually have to bring the magenta down like this, and I'll remove that vertex. But if I do that, then that means the storm pipe, this storm pipe, we'll make this magenta now, is going at the wrong angle. It's an acute angle through here, and we don't like that. So with that being said, I am going to decide, I've made the decision to go with the yellow line, even though it's a little bit longer. That's how I'm going to lay out my storm, and then I'm going to add a inlet here and bring it down. Now, we are going to use types 5s and 6s, FDOT type 5s and 6s. So to start that, I'm going to come up here, and I am going to go pipe network, and I'm going to go pipe network creation tools. what pops up is this dialog box, and I'm going to call it Storm. If I could spell. Okay. We are going to use the surface name. We're going to use the parts list Storm, surface name Road A, alignment Road A, structure label style. I am going to use the profile style on this one just to show you. Okay, and the label style, I'm going to use plan profile Storm Pipes 0.08. That's a smaller size text. Okay, and then I'm going to click OK. I can change my mind on these all I want. Now, when the toolbar pops up, I want you to change it to type 5 and 6. Right now, we're just going to use 6s because that means that's in a sag. 5s are when it's on a continuous grade. We are going to change our pipe size to 24s, RCPs, and then this option allows you to draw the pipes and structures. Now it says specify the structure insert point, so I'm going to click here, and then I'm going to first just kind of get the structure in the location where I want it. So I'm going to right click and go nearest, and I'm going to put it right here. I'm just using a visual aid. Now I know I'm going to have to rotate that, so just hold on. Now I don't want a type 6. I want to change that, and I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to change it to, click the plus, to a manhole. Okay, I'm going to put the manhole in the street. I'm going to put it right here. And I'm going to put, now see how tight I'm getting to this? And I told you I'm going to put the sewer in the road also. I'm going to try to keep it as far as I can to this side. I can actually put the manhole in the grass area, but again, remember the landscape architects have issues with that also. So I'm going to put it like here. And the reason I'm doing that is keeping it on this side of the drive lane. Now I'm going to come back up here and I'm going to switch to a type 6 again, and I am going to put it, and I'm going to shift nearest, and I'm going to put it right at this edge because I'm coming across here, placing it here. I'm going to switch back to a manhole. I'm going to put it, I don't want to cut through here, I'm going to put it here. For right now, I can always change my mind on this, and then I'm going to switch to a mitered in section 24-inch pipe because that's what I'm starting with. I can always change my mind, and I know I'm going to put the pond down here somewhere because it's in the low-lying area. So I'm going to just put it right there for right now, and then hit enter, and then hit escape. Now, what it does, you can grip edit these, and you can change the styles. So I'm just going to grip this just so you can read them. All right. So because this is a crowned road section, I have to have inlets on this side. Also, this inlet is facing the wrong direction. Also notice that you have elevations for the edge of pavement and invert elevations. See how it's -1? We have to fix that. So the other thing about, I'm going to escape, when you click on the structure, see this dot? You can rotate it. So technically it needs to be like such. Okay, and this edge, that edge there is actually supposed to be on the curb and gutter line. Okay, all right, now it's not always going to be perfect. You can rotate these till it's a little bit closer. This is where you're going to get practice at it. But I'm just going to go ahead and get close for right now. The other reason you need to be better at it is, see this offset? It's 11.7 feet to the right. You can do specific measurements on that. Right now, I just want to get you all close. Okay. The other thing is the length of the pipe, the size of the pipe. We'll clean this up also. The storm manholes, I don't want them to ride in the gutter. I actually have to move them out of the gutter line. I don't want the manhole rims to be in the gutter. So I'm going to pull these back. Now, that might affect where I place. See how it eats into here? So I may bring this down to the edge here to get it on that side. And the reason I'm getting it on that side, because I am going to parallel the sanitary sewer line on this side. Now I also have, this one is correct on the direction that it's flowing, but it needs to be kind of aligned with the back of curb, and then I need to move it over so that kind of lines up a little bit better. The line lines up a little bit better with the back of curb. Okay, so this line right here, this edge right here is the back of curb. Okay, now I need to add the cross pipes. So I'm going to go ahead and leave this up like this. I'm going to change this to the type 6 index. And then I'm just going to click that. And then I'm going to pick this point here. And notice it when I scroll in, it gives me this circle kind of symbol. That means it's going to snap to the center of it. And then I'm going to hit escape. So on that, I am going to pull this down and I'm going to pull this over. Okay. So now I've got my inlets and I'm just going to grip edit this so that it's more to the edge and it is perpendicular to the center line of the road and directly across. What I could do is I could create a polyline, PL, PL, enter. I'm going to snap mid between 2 points. Actually, it's not letting me snap at all. All right, I'm just going to leave it for right now. There are methods to get this more perfectly in a line. I'm not going to worry about that right now. You're all just starting. But if it was me, I would draw a line, PL, nearest, go perpendicular to this line, and then I could grip this and I could shift perpendicular to this line here, and then I would know that I was on it. Okay, so I'm going to change this to 0. I'm just showing you my tips and tricks on how my line weight is going to be 0. So I want this to snap perpendicularly to that magenta line. Now I know I'm directly across. Okay. All right. So I have one more to draw, and that one would be over here. So I'm going to, the other thing that you can do is you can actually snap on the property line here, and you know that you're perfectly on the property line. And then you can actually, let me pull these out of the way. You're going to rotate, and then you're going to go to the nearest here, so you know that's perfectly. And then you're going to use your nearest again. Oh, I turned it the other direction, sorry. So this one should actually rotate to the nearest here. Sorry about that. And then you're going to grip, you're going to grab that by the grip, and then you're going to use your nearest to visually click here. Okay, you can do the same thing here. I can snap it to this end point here to get them perfect. And here's the thing, and I'm going to grip it and I'm going to snap it to this point so I know it's perfect. And then I'm going to go perpendicular to here. Now it's not on the line, so then at that point I have to use my ortho, F8, and get it on to the edge. So that's a better rendition to make sure that these look correct. And also the distances. You can see that one's 1176 and that one's 1174. It's not absolutely perfect, but it's better than what it was. All right, one more thing is all these pipes are RCP. I don't want it to say concrete pipe. So if you come over here to the pipe networks, you'll see that I have a storm that I've written, and there's actually two storms in there. I can right click and I can delete the one that doesn't have anything in it, but you can see that these have stuff in it. And if I click on that, you can see I have structures. I'll rename those. And you can see I have pipes. I'm not going to rename those just yet. See the description where it says concrete pipe? If I right click on the word description, I can click edit and I can type in RCP, enter, and it updates them and it puts the correct information here. Okay, I can also change the size of that pipe. Let's say it's not a 24-inch pipe. Maybe it's only a 15-inch pipe. So when I click on this, I get this toolbar up here and I can swap the part out and I can say it's a 15-inch. And then it automatically changes it. Unfortunately, when it changes that, it changes it back to a description of concrete pipe. I can say RCP here. And I'm updating it. Usually I don't change the text until I am finished, okay? Just because I keep changing my mind. Now the structure numbers, I am going to change and I'm going to say, I'm gonna click on the names. I'm gonna start in ascending order and go S-1, S-2. Because I drew them in this order, I know that this is a good order to label them in. Now, it's just easier for the contractor out in the field that they're in some type of grouping or order with the structure numbers. But in the big scheme of things, if it gets out of order, it's okay. It's okay. And that'll be S8. Okay? So now you've got all the structure numbers updated. The structure styles, the descriptions will change. Like we know that 2 and 3 are manholes. So we can click on the description and see how it turns blue. We're going to say storm manhole. 3 is a storm, 3, I'm clicking it until the text highlights. And I'm going to say storm manhole. 1 and 7. 1 is, click on it, is FDOT type 6 inlet. 4 is a FDOT. 4 FDOT type 6 inlet. We said 7 is a FDOT type 6 inlet. 8, that's the one right here, is a FDOT type 6 inlet. 6, okay, so 5 is a storm manhole. 6, that's this one here. Okay, also on this one, it needs to be rotated because this is a mitered end section. Okay, I'm a little stuck right now. Hold on. I'm going to rotate that to make it look like that. 6 is a mitered end section. MES, mitered end section. Okay, so now I've got them all labeled. Okay, now notice this one says 1 because there's no surface out here. We'll fix that in a minute. All right, so now we've got them labeled, and now we've got to actually put inverts on these. I'm going to go ahead and pause here, and then we will start with the inverts.